Hey everybody, Haydog here. Welcome back to another reaction video. This time we're doing the Napoleon Marshals. Suje, Nay, and Scout. Scout? Skaloot? Ah, fuck it. So dyslexic. Alright.
Decus Pacis.
God.
Terror in war,
Anyway.
ornament in peace.
Whatevers.
The words inscribed on every French marshal's baton.
Man, alright, so we're almost done with this. We only
In
got
France,
this episode.
the title of Marshal
and
or
the next
Maréchal
episode, and that's it.
goes back at least to the 13th century. It represents the highest possible position of military authority. Authority symbolized by a marshal's baton. The title was abolished during the French Revolution as incompatible with the egalitarian spirit of the age. But in 1804, Napoleon founded a new empire and restored the ancient rank. This is Epic History TV's guide to Napoleon's Marshals. All 26 have been ranked according to our own evaluation of their achievements as marshals, with expert guidance from Lieutenant Colonel Remy Porte,
I don't know when.
former chief
It may
historian
be way
of
later.
the French Army.
It may be a week from now.
So far, we've met Marshals Perignon, Brune, Serrurier, Kellerman, Grouchy, Moncey, Poniatowski, Jourdan, Bernadotte, Augereau,
Bernadotte,
Lefebvre, Mortier, Marmont, Saint-Cyr, Oudinot, Victor, Murat, Bessières, MacDonald, Massena. 6. Marshal Suchet.
Suchet. If I'd had two marshals like Suchet, I would not only have conquered Spain, but kept it. That's what he said, actually, in the Napoleon
Louis
Wars.
Gabriel Suchet was born in Lyon, the
video.
son of a prosperous silk merchant. Plans to join the family business were derailed by the French Revolution. Suchet, an ardent Republican, joined the cavalry of the Lyon National Guard. In 1793, he was elected to lead a volunteer battalion, and at the Siege of Toulon distinguished himself by helping to capture the British commander, General O'Hara.
Oh, he captured
He also
him.
made friends with a young Major Bonaparte.
Bonaparte.
Suchet went on to serve under Napoleon in his first brilliant campaign in Italy, fighting at Lodi, Castiglione and Bassano. Transferred to Massena's division, he led his battalion with distinction at Arcole and Rivoli, was wounded twice and promoted colonel.
Alright.
It was in Italy that Suchet learned the most valuable lesson of his career. For troops to be effective, they must be properly paid, clothed and fed, something the French Republic consistently failed to achieve.
Man, just like the governments, am I right? I'm gonna stop right there. I don't know politics at all, and I don't really care to.
Despite proving himself to be an excellent organizer and dependable in battle,
That was too smart of a joke.
Suchet
That's
never
too
quite
smart.
made it
It's too
into
much.
General
Dial it back.
Bonaparte's inner circle. He went on to serve as a highly effective chief of staff to General Brune, and then to Massena in Switzerland, and was with Joubert in Italy, who died in his arms at the Battle of Novi. Suchet was promoted to General of Division, and in 1800 he was given command of the Army of Italy's left wing. With Massena besieged by the Austrians in Genoa, the defense of southern France fell on his shoulders. In a brilliant independent campaign, he held the Austrians near Nice, then chased them back into Italy, taking 15,000 prisoners. Despite this impressive record, Suchet was not on the list of marshals created by Napoleon in 1804. Worse, in 1805, he was effectively demoted, being given command of a division in Marshal Lannes' 5th Corps. Nevertheless, it was a role he performed with great skill. His division distinguished itself at Ulm and Austerlitz. And the next year led the attack in Napoleon's crushing victory over the Prussians at Jena. The next year in Poland, his division saw hard fighting at Pultusk, but was then held back to defend Warsaw, and missed the great battles of Eylau and Friedland. Napoleon heaped rewards on General Suchet, money, titles, but still no Marshals' bateau.
No Marshals'
In 1808, Suchet's division was sent to Spain, where he'd spend the next 6 years.
That's where
his first role was to support the siege of Zaragoza. Then, on Marshal Lannes's recommendation, Napoleon gave him command of 3rd Corps and made him governor of Aragon. Suchet found his troops to be poorly supplied, ill-disciplined, and low in morale. Their first battle together against General Blake's Spanish army ended in a humiliating rout at Alcañiz.
Wow.
Suchet found the drummer who'd started the panic and had him shot in front of the entire corps.
Damn.
He then reorganized his troops and restored discipline.
Aren't the drummers like kids? I mean, I guess not all of them, but like, I don't know. Like, I hope that wasn't a kid. I'm just saying, that would be awful.
With 2 quick victories over the Spanish.
Okay.
He also faced a guerrilla war in Aragon, a popular insurgency driven by hatred of the French invader.
The guerrillas.
Suchet drew on French experience of fighting counter-revolutionary insurgents in the Vendée, and realized that it was only by winning over the civilian population that he'd be able to make progress.
Makes sense.
He made it his first priority to ensure his own men were properly paid and fed, something almost unheard of for French troops in Spain.
Wow.
He enforced discipline and made sure requisitioned supplies were paid for. He told his troops, "I will look after your well-being, and you, by your discipline, will give security to the inhabitants.
Oh.
You will make them, by your conduct, care for the government of King Joseph." He told the Spanish people, "My troops will not impede your harvests nor overcrowd your cities. They will live in the countryside, ready to protect you.
Okay.
Religion and clergy will be respected."
Wow.
Crucially, Suchet also promised protection from the many Spanish guerrilla bands who behaved no better than bandits.
I mean, makes sense.
His practical and humane approach won respect and brought results.
Ooh, very
The guerrillas
nice.
could never be completely defeated,
Wow.
but Suchet made Aragon the safest and best-run region in occupied Spain.
Damn.
He extended French control of eastern Spain with a series of successful sieges at Lérida, Mequinenza, and Tortosa. In June 1811, he took Tarragona.
Yep.
For this victory, Napoleon finally awarded him his Marshal's baton.
I mean,
The
like,
only
come
one
on,
earned
man.
in-
Like, I don't know. It's kind of dumb. It's, bro, you finally, a siege. Like, bro, like, he's been doing all this for, whatever. Anyway.
Spain.
He's busy.
Then
Napoleon's
he moved
busy.
south.
I get it.
He defeated a larger Spanish force at Saguntum, then took the great city of Valencia, along with 18,000 prisoners and nearly 500 guns. Napoleon rewarded Suchet with the title Duke of Albufera.
Alright.
But the overall situation in Spain was deteriorating steadily.
Yeah.
Partisans became better organized and supplied. The British Navy was able to land troops on the coast to make diversionary attacks.
The British.
While Napoleon withdrew more and more units for his own campaigns in Russia and Germany. After King Joseph and Jourdan were defeated at Vitoria, Suchet had no option but to pull back towards the French frontier,
like, these
leaving
idiots.
behind several well-supplied garrisons.
Damn.
On Napoleon's abdication, Suchet remained undefeated, still holding the French frontier.
Damn.
When Napoleon returned from exile, Suchet went to meet him in Paris. It was the first time they'd met in person in 8 years.
Wow.
"Marshal Suchet, you have grown greatly since we last saw one another," the emperor told him. He entrusted Suchet with command of French forces in the south, an important independent command for which few men were better suited. Suchet dutifully kept France's enemies at bay until news arrived of Napoleon's defeat at Waterloo. Following the Second Bourbon Restoration, Suchet was dismissed and retired to his country estate, where he died in 1826.
Okay.
He was still held in such esteem in Aragon that a mass was held to pray for his soul in the Cathedral of Zaragoza.
Wow.
Suchet was a brilliant commander, widely regarded as the best administrator in Napoleon's army. He was also one of the few who thrived with the responsibility of independent command.
Yeah, he
never
did.
had the opportunity to prove himself on the war's decisive battlegrounds.
No.
But when Napoleon, in exile on St.
Spain.
Helena, was asked to name his best general, he replied, "That is difficult to say, but it seems to me that it is Suchet."
Wow.
5.
Ney.
Marshal Ney.
This guy I like. Ney was priceless for his valor, his obscenity in retreats. He was good for leading 10,000 men. Otherwise, he was a true idiot.
Michel Ney was a cooper's son
you're great
from
at
Lorraine,
this.
a
Otherwise, you're just
German-speaking
an
region
idiot.
of France on the eastern frontier. His father wanted him to become a clerk, but the young Ney, impetuous and headstrong, joined a hussar regiment instead.
Huzzah.
He soon distinguished himself as a fine horseman and fencer, and was a senior sergeant by the time of the French Revolution.
Okay.
When war broke out, Ney was made an officer and became aide-de-camp to General Lamarche. His reports describe Ney as active, brave, and a skilled tactician. Ney served in the Netherlands and on the Rhine, fighting at Valmy, Jemappes, and near Winden. He was seriously wounded once and captured once. Fellow officers nicknamed Ney the Indefatigable. His men preferred Le Rougeau, the ruddy or red-faced.
Red face.
The 30-year-old Ney was now a proven brigade commander, despite refusing promotion more than once, regarding himself as unqualified.
Oh, wow.
In 1799, following glowing reports from General Bernadotte, he finally accepted the rank of General of Division. In 1800, Ney and his division played a major role in General Moreau's great victory over the Austrians at Hohenlinden. This brought him to the attention of France's new first consul, Napoleon Bonaparte, with whom he'd still never served.
Oh, really?
When they met in Paris, they warmed to each other. Napoleon entrusted Ney the delicate task of imposing his Act of Mediation on Switzerland, which he carried out with swift efficiency.
Yeah.
The same year, Ney married Aglaé Louise Augier, a friend of Josephine's daughter, Hortense, now Napoleon's stepdaughter, drawing him closer to France's future imperial family.
Damn.
In 1804, Napoleon proclaimed a new empire, and Ney was made a marshal. The next year, he was leading 6th Corps to war against Austria. He was accompanied by Colonel Henri Jomini, a Swiss officer and military theorist. Ney had been quick to recognize his talent, giving him a job as his aide-de-camp and helping to publish his work. Jomini would win fame as one of the 19th century's great military thinkers, and served Ney well as his chief of staff on several campaigns.
Gotta have those
During
people.
the advance against the Austrians, Jomini encouraged Ney to ignore orders from Marshal Murat that would have allowed the enemy to escape. Their decision was vindicated when 6th Corps won a brilliant action at Elchingen that closed the trap on General Mack's forces at Ulm. Ney's corps missed the Battle of Austerlitz, but was in action against the Prussians the following year.
The Prussians.
There had already been signs that Ney's aggressive instinct, which made him a brilliant tactical leader, could also get him into trouble. At the Battle of Jena, Ney ignored his orders and charged straight at the Prussian lines,
right at them.
becoming cut off. His troops had to be rescued by Marshal Lannes' corps.
Lands like
A furious Napoleon remarked, "Ney knows less about soldiering than the last joined drummer boy." Ney was criticised again by Napoleon 3 months later, when his foraging raids into East Prussia appeared to provoke a Russian offensive. The winter manoeuvring culminated in the horrific Battle of Eylau, which Ney's corps reached only as darkness fell. That summer, Bennigsen's Russian army launched a surprise attack, hoping to encircle and destroy Ney's 6th Corps near Gutstadt. Ney, outnumbered 4 to 1, conducted a brilliant fighting withdrawal and escaped the trap.
Alright.
A week later, Napoleon caught Bennigsen's army at Friedland. Ney led a crucial attack on the enemy. "That man is a lion," said Napoleon, watching his advance. 6th Corps' onslaught shattered the Russian left, leading to one of Napoleon's most decisive victories. For all his flaws, Ney had proved himself one of Napoleon's best tactical commanders.
He is pretty good.
And was rewarded with the title Duke of Elchingen. In 1808, Ney commanded a corps during the invasion of Spain. He spent more than 2 years in the Iberian Peninsula, and like most of Napoleon's marshals, found it a bitter and frustrating experience. In 1810, he joined Marshal Massena for the invasion of Portugal, but deeply resented being placed under his command. He criticised every decision, helping to create a poisonous atmosphere at French headquarters. The French advance on Lisbon came to a halt at the lines of Torres Vedras.
Ain't getting through.
During the subsequent retreat, Ney again demonstrated his brilliant tactical skills, fighting a series of rearguard actions that kept Wellington's troops at bay.
Wow.
But Ney's fury at what he considered Massena's disastrous leadership boiled over into open insubordination. He was relieved of command and returned to France. But he did not remain in disgrace for long. Napoleon knew Ney's worth in battle, and that the army adored him. He'd been needed in Russia, and was recalled in 1812 with command of 3rd Corps. As the Grande Armée advanced deeper into Russia, Ney was always near the action, leading attacks at Krasny and at Smolensk, where he was wounded in the neck.
Ooh, in the neck.
Amid the slaughter of Borodino, Ney led his corps in attack after attack on the Russian earthworks. When they were finally taken, and he was told that Napoleon would not send in his reserves to follow up their hard-won gains, he exploded with anger. What business has the Emperor in the rear of the army? Since he will no longer make war himself, let him return to the Tuileries and leave us to be generals for him. It was typical of Ney's lack of restraint, but his blind faith in the Emperor did not survive Russia. Henceforth, he'd fight only for France.
He was like, what is this
guy doing? It was during the retreat from Moscow that Ney ensured his place among the legends of military history.
This is
Just 2 weeks into the retreat, the Russians routed Davout's rearguard at Vyazma, and Ney and 3rd Corps took over. Ney was not only an instinctive tactician and apparently immune to fear or fatigue, he could inspire or bully other men into superhuman feats of bravery and endurance.
That's a great
A French
power.
officer later recalled, "I can see him still at the spot where the fighting was hottest, speaking to the men, indicating to the generals what positions they should take up, animating all hearts with the confidence that flashed from his glances. He made an effect on me I don't know how to describe."
Wow.
At Krasny, when the rearguard got cut off from the rest of the army, Ney angrily rejected calls to surrender and led his men in an astonishing forced march across enemy territory, crossing the frozen Dnieper River at night, personally pulling men from the river when they fell through the ice.
Wow.
Surrounded by Cossacks and down to 800 fighting men, they formed square and kept moving. Ney was more than a hero to the army. He was its talisman,
Talisman.
News of his escape caused rejoicing throughout the army. Napoleon himself remarked, "What a soldier! The army is full of brave men, but Michel Ney is truly the bravest of the brave." Ney led the rearguard for the rest of the retreat, and according to legend, was the last man to cross the Niemen River into Poland.
Last man.
His leadership helped many thousands of soldiers to make it back alive.
What a freaking...
Ney was rewarded with the title Prince of the Moskva, and continued to serve throughout 1813, though his relations with the Emperor, and Marshal Berthier in particular, were increasingly strained.
Yeah, he's just getting pissed
At
off.
Lutzen, Ney was moved by the conduct of his young conscripts, who bore the brunt of Blücher's surprise attack, but fought back bravely, helping to win victory. Napoleon then entrusted Ney with command of 3 army corps, 84,000 men. But the plan for him to fall on the enemy's flank at Bautzen went awry. Badly drafted orders led to delay, and the coalition army was able to escape. Ney fought in the Emperor's great victory at Dresden, but 10 days later at Dennewitz, his limitations as an army commander were horribly exposed. Throwing himself into an attack, he lost control of the battle, and was badly beaten by Bernadotte's Army of the North. Ney was devastated by his defeat, but Napoleon kept him in command of his northern wing. At the gigantic four-day Battle of Leipzig, he commanded the northern sector, holding the line until a shoulder wound on the last day forced his return to France.
He can't do it.
He rejoined the army in 1814 and fought in the defense of France, commanding the Young Guard, and personally leading a bayonet charge at the Battle of Montmirail. In April, Ney, outspoken as ever, was among the first to confront Napoleon with the reality of his position and force his abdication. Ney was feted by the restored Bourbon monarchy as France's greatest soldier. But he could not hide his contempt for the returning aristocrats who treated his family with disdain. When the king's niece reduced his wife to tears, Ney confronted her, shouting, "I and others were fighting for France, while you sat sipping tea in English gardens." In February 1815, Napoleon escaped from exile on Elba and landed in France. Ney was horrified by the prospect of civil war, and promised the king that he'd bring Napoleon back to Paris in an iron cage. But he soon saw that the army was flocking to Napoleon's banner. When Napoleon appealed to him directly as the hero of Borodino, Ney made the fateful decision to cast in his lot with the Emperor once more. When Napoleon advanced into the Netherlands in June to take on Wellington and Blücher's armies, Ney commanded his left wing. But he made a string of blunders. Against Wellington's troops at Quatre Bras, he was too cautious when he held the advantage. 2 days later at Waterloo, Napoleon left much of the tactical handling of the battle to Marshal Ney. It was a mistake. On his own initiative, Ney launched a series of mass cavalry attacks too early, and failed to launch any coordinated attacks on Wellington's position until late in the day. He had 4 horses killed under him. And personally led the last doomed attack by the Imperial Guard.
He just won.
Ney's courage that day was awe-inspiring, but his decisions helped to cause the French defeat. In the aftermath, Ney spurned several chances to flee France, and was arrested for treason by the restored monarchy.
Makes sense.
A military court refused to pass sentence, so his case went to the Chamber of Peers. With the king's allies demanding that an example be made of Ney, the outcome of his trial was never in doubt. 5 of Ney's fellow marshals were among a large majority who voted for the death penalty. On the 7th of December 1815, he was marched into the Luxembourg Gardens in Paris. Soldiers, "When I give the order to fire, fire at the heart," he told the firing squad.
Wow.
"Wait for the order. It will be my last to you. I protest against my condemnation.
Damn.
I have fought 100 battles for France, and not one against her."
Yeah, wow. Damn.
Marshal Ney was among the most inspirational battlefield commanders in history.
Hell
A
yeah.
born soldier and brilliant tactician, unless his fiery temperament got the better of him.
Yeah.
He lacked
Don't
the
we all get
confidence for
angry?
high command, but under the Emperor's supervision, he proved one of the Grande Armée's greatest combat leaders. 4. Marshal Soult.
Soult. I should have made a great example and had Soult shot. He was the greatest pillar of them all.
Jean de Dieu Soult
totally fucked
was
that
from
up.
a small town in southern France and enlisted in the Régiment Royal,
Royal.
aged 16.
Damn,
He became a
16.
tough, capable sergeant, and in the build-up to the Revolutionary Wars, joined a new battalion of volunteers as their drill instructor. Soult's self-confidence and bearing meant he was soon made an officer.
Okay.
The unit went into action against the Prussians in 1793. In a brutal baptism of fire, half the battalion became casualties, though Soult's own conduct was praised.
Oh.
After a spell on the staff of General Hoche, he joined General Lefebvre's crack Vanguard division. Soult
Okay.
learned much from Lefebvre, a future fellow marshal, serving first as his chief of staff and later as his best brigade commander. Soult's rise from sergeant to brigadier general took less than 3 years. In the process, he won a reputation as an organized and decisive commander and brilliant tactician. He also began a bitter, long-lasting feud with another rising star, General Michel Ney. In 1799, Soult
drama.
established himself as one of France's best divisional commanders, fighting under Massena's command at the Battle of Zurich. He was then put in charge of 3 divisions to pursue General Suvorov through the Alps, proving his ability for high command. In his report to France's new first consul, Napoleon Bonaparte, Massena wrote, "For judgment and courage, Soult has scarcely a superior."
Oh, all
The
right.
next year, Soult and Massena were besieged in Genoa. Soult led a series of daring raids on the Austrian lines,
Yeah.
until he was shot in the knee and captured.
Oh,
He was
in the
robbed
knee.
and spent days in agony in a filthy hospital.
Ew.
An episode that may explain Soult's later reluctance to lead from the front. On his return to Paris, Soult received a hero's welcome from Napoleon. His rewards included an honorary rank as Colonel General in the Consular Guard, plus command of troops assembled
Good.
at Saint-Omer for Napoleon's planned invasion of England. Soult, the old drill instructor, imposed strict discipline and trained his men hard, earning the nickname Bras de Fer,
Bras de
Iron
Fer.
Arm.
Iron
Even Napoleon wondered if he was being too severe,
Oh.
to which Soult replied, "Those that can't handle what I myself endure will be left behind in the depots. Those that can will be fit to conquer the world."
Damn.
In 1804,
That's a big ego.
Napoleon proclaimed his new empire, and Soult received his Marshal's Battle. The next year, his impeccably drilled troops became 4th Corps, the largest corps of the Grande Armée, and marched east to take on the 3rd Coalition. That December at Austerlitz, Napoleon entrusted Soult's corps with the main attack on the enemy centre. As he issued his final orders to his marshals, the Emperor turned to Soult last and said, "As for you, Soult, I say only, act as you always do."
Oh, wow.
4th Corps'
your
attack was the
thing.
decisive blow of the battle, though its success owed much to Soult's exceptional divisional commanders, Saint-Hilaire and Van Damme. With victory won, Napoleon acclaimed Soult the foremost maneuverer in Europe.
That's a title.
However, it was observed that Soult was now less inclined to expose himself to enemy fire, taking a more managerial approach to command.
That's
Though
what
his
happens.
planning, organization, and tactical instinct remained superb. The next year, Soult's corps played an important role at the Battle of Jena, and in the pursuit of the defeated Prussian army that followed. In the brutal winter battle at Eylau, his troops held the center of the line. Soult's relationship with Napoleon was excellent. The Emperor frequently turned to him for advice, much to Marshal Berthier's annoyance.
Wow.
In 1808, Soult was ennobled as the Duke of Dalmatia, and later that year led a corps in Napoleon's invasion of Spain. When the Emperor returned to France, he entrusted the pursuit of the British army to Marshal Soult.
Oh yeah.
The British
I
nicknamed
forgot he
Soult
did that.
the Duke of Damnation. He
Damnation.
harried them through the mountains of Galicia to La Coruña. But in battle, he could not break their lines,
Nope.
nor prevent their escape by sea.
See ya.
Soult then marched south and occupied Porto, where rumours began that he was considering crowning himself King of Portugal.
Oh.
Whether the rumours were serious or not, in May, the British and Portuguese took Soult by surprise
Yep.
and drove him out of Portugal with heavy loss in men and supplies.
Get out of here, mate.
This was the most ignominious chapter of Soult's mixed record in the peninsula. 5 years that saw sparks of brilliance, but also missed chances, shocking avarice, and a reluctance to cooperate with other commanders. Later in 1809, Soult replaced Marshal Jourdan as King Joseph's chief military advisor, and led French forces to a crushing victory over the Spanish at Ocaña.
Yeah,
He then oversaw the French occupation of southern Spain. Appointed governor of Andalusia, Soult administered the region with cold efficiency from his headquarters at Seville, though avoiding harsh measures where possible. He lived in royal style and notoriously looted Spanish churches on such a scale that he soon amassed one of the great art collections in Europe, worth an estimated 1.5 million francs.
Holy shit!
He was
250
increasingly aloof,
million?
and even his aides found him difficult to like.
Lord
Soult's
have mercy.
character is hard and above all egotistical, one wrote.
Yeah.
He takes no more than a passing interest in those around him. In 1811,
thinks
with
he's all
Marshal
the big
Massena's
shot.
army stalled outside Lisbon, Napoleon ordered Soult to give support. Like many of Napoleon's long-range interventions in Spain, the objectives were unrealistic. Yet Soult marched north with 20,000 men, capturing Badajoz, but withdrew on receiving news of an enemy landing near Barossa.
The British.
2 months later, he marched north again to relieve Badajoz, now besieged by the enemy, and met Beresford's larger army en route at Albuera. Soult launched a flanking attack that threw the enemy into confusion, but he failed to follow up his advantage and left the tactical handling of the battle to others. Nor was he on the spot to inspire his troops.
Right, he's
His
in the
army
back.
suffered a bloody defeat.
Yeah, he's not giving
The
them
next
any
year, Wellington's victory at Salamanca forced
motivation.
Soult to abandon his palace in Seville and retreat to Valencia.
Valencia.
Though that autumn, he had the satisfaction of reoccupying Madrid and pursuing Wellington's army back to the Portuguese frontier. In 1813, Napoleon summoned Soult to Germany, where he fought at Lützen and supervised the main attack at Bautzen. But when news arrived of the calamitous French defeat at Vitoria, Napoleon sent Soult back to Spain to take charge. Soult inherited a demoralized, disorganized army.
Yeah, he ain't gonna do
Quickly
anything.
imposed order, turned it around, and attacked. It was an impressive feat, but his mostly young conscripts were up against experienced, well-led troops.
Yeah,
Two
the
attempts
British.
to relieve the besieged garrison of San Sebastian failed. Soult began a fighting retreat through the Pyrenees Mountains back to France. Despite the limitations of his demoralized conscripts, he ensured Wellington's army had to fight every step of the way, counter-attacking whenever possible, and offering resistance till the end, even as Napoleon's empire began to collapse.
Oh.
The last battle of the campaign was fought at Toulouse, a bloody and unnecessary one, as Napoleon had abdicated 4 days earlier.
Ugh.
Under the Bourbon Restoration,
4 days.
Soult became an unpopular Minister of War. Like Marshal Ney, he initially opposed Napoleon's return from exile, but saw which way the wind was blowing and rallied to the Emperor. Napoleon made several dubious appointments in 1815. One was to pick Soult as his new chief of staff, replacing Marshal Berthier. Not only did this waste Soult's command abilities, since his new role was merely to implement Napoleon's orders, Soult also inherited a complex staff system of Berthier's own devising. Crucial errors resulted during the Waterloo campaign,
Man,
orders
going
astray and commanders unsure of their role. Soult's warning not to underestimate Wellington's army was dismissed by Napoleon. You think that because Wellington defeated you, he must be a great general. I tell you that he is a bad general, that the English are bad troops, and this will be over by lunchtime.
Well,
following Napoleon's defeat,
that's the ego.
Soult lived in exile until 1819, then returned to France under a political amnesty. After the July Revolution, he served as a reforming Minister of War, and 3 times as President of the Council of Ministers, effectively France's Prime Minister.
Oh, I see.
He also became the Grand Old Man of the French army, elevated to Commander-in-Chief with the exalted rank of Marshal General of France.
Wow.
Soult died aged 82 in the same town where he was born, known today as Saint-Amand-Soult.
Saint-Amand-Soult. Wow.
Soult's record as a marshal was mixed. A brilliant and intelligent organizer whose ability to deliver a master stroke or inspire his troops to victory waned with time. Yet he was one of the few marshals that Napoleon could trust with a large independent command.
He did.
A quality he needed desperately, but found in short supply. Suchet,
there you go.
Ney, Soult. Join us for the final part of Napoleon's Marshals as we reveal our top 3, coming soon. Brand new to the Epic History TV.
That's awesome. Anyway, yeah, all these generals, like, you kind of see, I don't know, again, I always say, like, you see the pattern of greed. That's what I see, is like a lot of greediness in these generals, and then it's their downfall, of course. Not all of them, but a lot of them, I will say, especially Soult. That was very interesting, very well made, very well done, very good, very good. Anyway, hopefully you guys liked it. Comment and subscribe. See ya!